everyone. Good morning, good evening to all the folks, lovely folks out there. So this is Puneet. I'm your host for this today's AI Data podcast. Uh, and a quick introduction about myself. So I run Labellerr, where we provide high quality data for computer vision, NLP, and generative AI teams, help them with RLHF and so on, so forth, so that they can focus on training their AI models, fine tune their generative AI models, and so as you know, in this AI Data podcast series, we talk to some wonderful guests who are working in the space of AI, automation, data analytics, and so on and so forth, and talk to them about their interesting stories and anecdotes, which usually you would not find on the internet easily, right? So it's an opportunity for them to kind of share with the whole audience, and that's what the motivation that they bring, why they are on the podcast, right? And and today we have Simon, uh, who is currently the analytics and data director at Internet Brands. It's a 12 billion valuation technology and online media company. uh, Interestingly, in his case, he's worked with Fortune 500 enterprises to fast-paced startups. Uh, and even more interesting, his journey started as a, in from psychology, and now he's kind of he's got into the AI and data automation space, and helping these internet companies build their competitive advantage. So, welcome, Simon. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Cool. So Simon, what we will do is let's first we would want to have a brief introduction about yourself for the audience understanding, and we'll take it from there. Yeah.
Sure, absolutely. So, like Puneet said, is like I am the oper analytics and operation director in Internet Brands. So I came from a typical background from as a analyst or engineer. So it's like I start my career as an analyst, and also it's like just I work in a lot of work as a data scientist, and also as like engineer through Fortune 500 companies, startup and mid-sized corporate company, work with executive on the business side, and also as I work with their tech team. Sometimes it's actually like just around the globe. It's like in India and also it's like in US. Learn a lot of things. So I'm very fortunate.
Cool. Simon, would you elaborate on like what are the companies that you worked with, and what these industries have been, just in brief, for the audience?
Sure. So I start my first job after. So I got a bachelor degree in psychology and a master degree in psychology. And after my master, my first job was in the Walt Disney Company. So it's like as an analyst, and then I worked with their Graham Holding Company, used to be known as the Washington Post Company, and then spent majority of my time with a big hardware retailer, a 5 billion runway hardware retailer called Harbor Freight Tools, in the corporate strategy team, which is their internal consulting team. So mainly work with their corporate executives. So it's like on the key decisions, crunching data, doing different analysis to drive actionable decisions. And also it's like on the other side, it's like work with different functional team to do different key business initiatives. So it's like work with like operations, inventory, marketing, category management. So it's like doing a lot of data analytics project, analysis project, also is like predictive analytics, customer segmentation. So all range of projects. And after that is like I joined a startup. It's very interesting. It's a
Okay.
cannabis technology startup. You can think of it as a cannabis version of DoorDash. So
Oh,
in there, it's actually like I build their analytics system from ground up. The ETL system is like from ground up. And after 2 years, it's like I joined my current company as their strategy and operation director in internet brands, which is reporting to our COO, working with both the business side and the tech side. I'm kind of like the translator of both sides. So talking business language and also it's like bridging the gap with the tech team. So that's high level is like what I do.
interestingly, I mean, I just want to kind of have a follow-up question on this, right? You mentioned that you moved from a Washington Post company to kind of to a startup, right? So, what was the motivation and what was the story behind that? Anything specific? What made you think that okay, let's move to the startup, right? Completely in very early phase. And what was that
So
phase of this company, and what was your thoughts at that time? I think if that was your first experience getting into a startup, the first time getting
yes,
into a startup.
yes,
Okay.
it's actually like it's chaotic time. So it's like at that time it's like so I was at Harbor Freight. Like so by the time it's like I already work in corporate for a decade. So it's like 1 year in Disney, 1 year in Graham Holdings, and then 7+ years in Harbor Freight too. So corporate is great. A lot of like relevant training, great people, existing process, and all that. And one day it's actually like my friend in the same team, and then just told me it's like, hey, Simon, I have my best friend is actually starting a company is like with another person, and then they need someone that's actually build analytics from ground up. Are you interested? It was chaotic time because it's like it's 2021, so it's like it's COVID and everyone start to work from home. And then I think to myself, wow, it's it's uncharted territory at the time. So it's like it's not corporate. Everything is different. But I think to myself, it's like I always want to build something from the ground up, and you don't get the chance actually like incorporate because it's already existing protocol, construct, process, and all that. It's kind of like a once in a lifetime opportunity to build something yourself from scratch in a startup the way you want it. So I asked myself, will I take my experience in corporate and just take a shot at it? And then I say, okay, I will try. And that's how I jumped to the startup after a decade in corporate.
Interesting. So and then what and I'm sure you must have tried to imagine like how it would like, and then when you ended up in the company, uh, how was that like? How was that feeling like for you? And you really were going through the first year probably, or maybe first few months of this startup phase.
It is very different. It's actually like so there's no structure. People are nice, people are friendly, they come from different background. So the thing I can remember the most is like everyone. So in corporate, it's actually like you have different system, everything automate for you, daily report and all nice. So they have like a portal. Everyone actually like go and hit the button and pull the data. They can only pull 30 days worth of report, and every time you hit the button, it takes about 2 minutes to pull you 30 days of sales data. I was like, wow, that's different from corporate. And then I was thinking, it's like, okay, how do you guys work here? It's like, that's why you're here. We need automation from scratch. I was like, great, let's do it. So
Okay,
literally, it's like just like I start when I said I start from scratch. I start from scratch. It's like, do you have API? What kind of SQL database are you using? Oh, AWS. That's something I know. So I just like, can you get me access? And I was like, literally, was like starting from the first line of code with Python linking to the APIs to those database, and then building your own front end. It start with like Google Sheet, and then later evolve into Power BI and Tableau, but everything is actually like from scratch. I like the experience. It's very different, but I think it's good time.
Okay, cool. My question is, was it the first time that you kind of wrote the code for the because of this startup? Had you had to write this in this setting for the automation, or you have been doing the coding work even previously as well in the past?
Yeah, I've been doing some Python development, a lot of automation is like when I was with corporate, but actually like, it's just much easier because actually like you have existing protocol, existing data reports. So it's like I am streamlining the process. Automate something is actually like already kind of automated. Versus in the startup, it's actually like you just write the automation from scratch. Automating something is actually really manual. So it's like that's the difference. But yeah, from the code perspective, it's kind of different. So that's why it's like that's in the first place. It's like I asked myself, is that something I can do? Yes. Okay, let me take a shot at it.
So and any other interesting stories from this as you were doing automation? What kind of data existed, and what were the challenges around AI and data, or whatever the automation that you did, and did psychology help you? So I've asked a couple of questions. Of one, first is what were the challenges around AI and data when you ended up focusing on the automation bit? And I think that's a full purpose of why uh, you joined this organization, this startup, right? And maybe you can elaborate on that journey.
Yeah, so I guess actually like one thing is like is so no matter it's actually like big organization or startup, so it's like as the company is actually like growing, you got to have lots of different data source. So pretty much it's like, well, maybe some of the data is offline on an Excel spreadsheet. Some of them actually like is offline local database. Some of that is in the cloud and all that. So it's like it just first thing, okay, how to just consolidate the data in uniform format. So actually like you can start as actually like rolling your data. So it's like one of the project I can think of is I built a customer segmentation model from scratch when I joined a startup. So it's like there are two things I built, two big things actually like I built when I joined a startup. One is the customer segmentation model, which helped them substantially is like increase their revenue by targeting is like the customer better, is like who are the customer actually buying. So it's like what tier, what kind of action you should do to them, what kind of promotion actually like you should do to them. So that's one of the big thing. So a lot of like predictive modeling. So it's like, okay, so this is actually like the buying pattern, what actually like draw they into the door. So it's like those are the high frequency customer. Those are the high margin customer. What kind of margin actually, what kind of product actually like is driving the revenue and all that. So it's actually like, I guess the first challenge is like just cleaning up data, processing the data. The next one is actually like just working with business unit to see, okay, what are the KPIs we should be measuring our success? Is that the frequency of the product, the nature of the product, and all that? And then finally, it's actually like just roll out the test product to the client, to the business client, and see it's actually like, okay, is that what they want? And the final stage where we put it in test to see it's actually like if it's drive better business results. So just multiple stage, different challenges, but I think actually like they are fun in their own way.
Okay, so you were the first person to drive this automation at the organization, or you had you I mean, basically, you ended up building the team, or was there already some team existed to kind of who was doing some initial work, groundwork?
So in the startup, actually, like I kind of like in one man team to build it myself.
Okay.
But it's like so, but of course, actually, like the knowledge did not just come from nowhere. So it's like in Harbor Freight Tools, it's actually like I learned a lot. It's actually like about customer segmentation. They work with a very good vendor. So it's like how to like just segment the data, how to actually like classify product, how to target customers. So in my 7 years, actually, like, I learned a lot how to actually like use customer segmentation to target retail. And then I take that playbook and then actually like in startup, it's actually like I just write that myself using Python.
Oh, okay, okay. And then how big was the company in terms of the number of employees at that time? How big was the team at that time when you joined them?
When I joined them, I think it's actually like about in corporate, maybe it's like 50 people. And then it's actually like, so because they are a delivery company, and then it's like they have about maybe 100, 200 people, it's like drivers, but it's like corporate is about 50. So it's like you can imagine it's like in finance, the core finance is like me, the CFO, and then it's like a director of finance, and then an accountant. And several is actually like several more accountants, so it's like less than 10 people. Really lean team.
Cool. And I think now it's more than 10,000 people, is it?
You mean
That
their startup?
is, yeah, this company.
Unfortunately, it's actually like their startup actually like closed down. It's like last November.
Oh,
They did not
okay,
survive. Yeah.
okay. So I mean, but I think they were growing, right?
They
But
they
they were
were growing, so it's actually like so back into the so it was a Series A startup, and then actually like after I joined, actually like we had a good run, and then it called Glassdoor, and then it became the second largest cannabis delivery companies in California. We were great at one point, so actually like was growing, and after I built a customer segmentation model, it's actually like the revenue is like grown by 43% in 12 months.
okay.
But after that, actually, like I think it's like part of it is like the general environment is like of the cannabis industry, high tax rate, and all that. Eventually, it's actually like after I left, it's like they closed down last November. So
Okay. And what about the Harbor Freight Tools? No. So that was also a company, that was also a small company when you joined?
they they are doing really well. So it's like when I joined, they got about 300 stores,
Okay.
and then now they have over 1,500 stores right now. They're doing really well. They know what they're doing.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And what about the work there at Harbor Freight Tools?
In Harbor Freight Tools is so as I said, it's like I was in the corporate strategy team, which
Yeah.
is a small internal consulting team. It's like for the exec, so it's like a lot of actually like I learned a lot there. So it's like it's small team compiled with like investment bankers, and also it's actually like top consultants from like Big Four and those like high end consulting firm, which I'm the only one who's not from that background. I'm from
And so you are special.
I'm from liberal art, special in the wrong way, but yes, good that I
No,
survived.
I think it's not like that. So I mean, cool. That you are being humble. So okay, cool. So cool. Let's move on to for next set of questions, right? So you mentioned your journey from a junior analyst to a director, right? And why we were chatting also. You emphasize the importance of the continuous learning, right? So what's one skill of or piece of knowledge you have acquired along the way that surprised you the most?
I I will actually like have two part of to those answer. I would say it's actually like so I start as an analyst. So it's like I in the corporate strategy team, it's actually like I report to a boss came from investment banking. And then I look at his skills. I was like, oh my God, that's what an analyst really means. So in the early stages, actually, like I really learned from him is like how to be an analyst, how to analyze problem and present like data to the exact, how to actually like tell a business story. So that's the most important skill, is actually like at the early stage. And as time goes by, it's like when the company is actually like need a lot of automation work, I spend my time actually like learning VBA and Python. So that actually like helped me a lot in terms of automation, and also it's actually like later AI. So actually like just come into it's like the world of like predictive modeling, and also it's like automation and all that. So it's like short answer is actually like text continuous learning is actually like in terms of technical skills. That's actually like helped me to just continue to rise in the corporate ladder. So it's like I got free promotion within Harbor Freight Tools and got promoted to directors like within 8 months in the startup. But also it's actually like on the other side, it's like I think some skills is timeless, which like communication. So it's like those things actually like you need it as an analyst, and also it's actually like until director level, it's actually like you still have to be able to communicate to the exec and also like communicate to the tech team. So it's like I would say continuous learning, keep evolving on the technical skill, and continue to evolve in your communication skill, which is kind of the timeless skill. Those two components is actually like just kind of highlight as my most important learning in my career.
Okay. Any instances that you might recall on um, uh, specifically which made you more, I would say, sure of like, okay, these communication skills or the storytelling is very, very important. Um,
So I would say it's actually like early in my career, it's actually like I really focus on technical skills. So meaning it's actually like crunching data, how to be actually like the fastest analyst and all that. But actually like my delivery was lacking, because actually like I have to tell the executives actually like what's going on and all that. And I was like, well, they're not getting it, because actually like I have my analyst jargon, a lot of tech jargon and all that. And then I realized it is like that's not efficient. So actually I spent some time, it's like how to tell a simple story. So it's like just like I think it's like a wise person said, it's like just like if you can not explain something in simple terms, you don't know the subject good enough. So I just like I take that literally and try to, it's like, okay, will I understand it if I without the technical background I have? So it's like try to think about it. So it's like just try to evolve from it. I can tell it's actually like I'm still I'm still learning to this day, because actually like now I report to the COO. I work with the business side, and also it's like just I work with the tech side. So it's like within a day I speak both language. I have to talk code. So it's like that's how you do the C code, join the API on the tech side. And also it's actually like explain to the CEO in terms of progress. So it's like, so if we do that, what kind of business outcome can we expect? This is plan A, this is plan B, in a few lines, actually like without technical jargons. So yeah, I'm still learning.
Cool. So let's switch our gears to kind of more on the unstructured data side, right? I see that you've been talking about computer vision a lot lately. So, what's the most exciting applications of computer vision that you have come across recently, and how do you see computer vision transforming industries in the near future?
So I would say it's actually like one of the things actually like I think computer vision is actually like is fascinating today. So of course actually like one of the most developed areas actually like OCR. So the OCR is actually like just detecting is like their characters, and then actually like translating like just image into actually a Word document and all that. So Google, Amazon actually like just transcript is like millions of documents, like physical documents, into computer and all that. I think it's like that's fascinating. And also it's like in terms of healthcare, it's like just like now computer vision can detect cancer even earlier is like than a human being. I think that's fascinating. But on the other side, it's actually like, because I also do my training on computer vision, somehow in my mind, I feel like the technology today on computer vision is not there yet in some ways. So for example, it's actually like if you train the model will only works well in the model in the angle you train the model. So actually like if you just flip it to another angle, the accuracy actually will drop substantially. So in order for you to maximize the efficiency of the computer vision model, you actually like have to just twist your environment, set up the setting. I think this is one of the main reason why the computer vision like model is not widely used in the world right now. You can see a lot of demos like manufacturing and all that, but actually like Google using it, Google demoing it, but actually like you cannot see it's actually like a lot of widely used in other industry and all that, because actually I think there's still limitation. And I believe is that the next revolution will be actually like comes from is like when we have more developed technology surrounding it's like augmented reality. So it's like when you have like 3D scanning and all that. So now you don't have the angle problem I talked about. So it's like, well, I think it's like, in short, it's like I think computer vision is really developed in some aspect like OCR and maybe healthcare at the right angle, but also it's actually like some other aspect is waiting for the next evolution of technology to perfect it before actually like it can be widely used by other industry.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think agree to your point. And even I recently read about Professor Fifi Lee. She's kind of called the godmother of. She's in a way actually a lady who's the godmother of AI revolution, especially when even we talk about the computer vision space, right? And wonderful stuff that she's done. And so if you recall the uh, ImageNet and the moment, right? What actually transformed the whole industry. And now I recently stumbled into her project, which is called Behavior. And exactly what you pointed out is the limitation, right? The computer vision doesn't understand like humans like us, like, okay, what's on that side? How does it look like on that side? That's not the understanding that these computers have, or the way we currently train our models, the way that currently the technology is. And that's exactly what they are terming it as spatial intelligence. It's like we humans know that, okay, that object is lying there, how probably it's where in the space and time it is lying there, and what's the next action gonna happen or likely gonna happen, or what is the possibilities of if the glass is just lying on the corner of the table, and someone just come and kind of touch it, then would it there's a likelihood that it might fall, and then can we take an action to kind of catch it, right?
Exactly.
And so that's not the understanding that computers have. Computer can just say that, okay, there is a glass, there is a table, probably there is someone who is kind of touching that glass, but it might not be able to kind of think that, okay, probably a glass can fall on that right side, not on the left side, because
Exactly.
someone is applying that force. So all those physics laws are not, I mean, the current computer vision technologies, I think, is not aware of this physics laws and all. It can, and it was an interesting example she shared, right? And she called it as, she called it as catastrophe. So, an example, right? I mean, a cat going through the water and surfing through the water, and still it doesn't get wet. So she said, "What a catastrophe!" So she's just joked about it. So then interesting. It's a TED talk recently, and that I've watched a very recent TED talk. So I think you're just one example of that okay, looking at from the other side, it would not be able to kind of handle that. Uh, Very well summarizes the same point.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, so because I came from a psychology background, right? The way I look at AI, the AI is a kid with a baby with infinity learning capacity and exponential learning curve. But actually, it's like currently, I think it's like the limitation is like human is still finding the best way to train that really smart kid. Let's just like it's like the 2D is like looking at the bottle, right? So it's like, okay, this is the angle. So this is the bottle. This is also the bottle. This is also the bottle. But when you train it 2D, let's know the spatial element. And also it's actually like just missing the physical law and all that. How to teach abstract. Those elements are missing. It's not like the computational power is not enough. It's just like we as humans
Yes.
don't know how to teach this little kid all those smart stuff. We need the kid to know. The kid is called AI.
And this, we have built a kit without a psychology. We need to embed the psychology into the this AI kit.
In a way, yes.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, this new project that this all behind this spatial intelligence is actually called behavior. So it's very well talking about all of this on how humans behave uh, to and how humans react to the environment. Uh, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Interesting. So okay, so let's explore a fun hypothetical scenario, right? Uh, so if you could build an AI powered assistant to help you with your daily tasks, what features would it have, and how would it enhance your productivity?
I think it's actually like literally will be my butler. Literally it's actually like my life butler. So it's just like so I work with AI a lot. So it's like I have to say it's actually like I admire the consistency of AI. So a little joke is actually like I keep telling my coworkers like I say it's like the automation I create is the better self of myself. So it's never get tired. It never complain without a big mouth of myself. Work 24 hours, consistent, never make human mistake. Yeah. It's just so because I work with like so half of my day I work with code, half of the day I work with humans. So it's like a lot of time it's like, well, I think it's like, well, if AI can more like human and or vice versa, it's actually like if human can more like AI. So it's like I would want an AI to eliminate my human weakness. So it's like sometimes it's like I forget the key and all that. It's like, okay, AI will not forget the key. So if AI is with me, hey, Simon, you forgot your key. Hey, Simon, it's time for you to do what? So Simon, it's time for you to do what? It's kind of like a life assistant.
Yeah, yeah, cool. Okay, interesting. So, and one on some recent developments about Gen AI, I have some questions, quick questions, and we can answer it in short, right? So, what is your take on ChatGPT and in general about Gen AI? And of course, I mean, there is a recent new development that has happened in ChatGPT. So, would love to hear your thought.
I think it's fascinating too. Little actually like make my life much easier. So it's like in some cases it's actually like, oh, I just write something really important. I was like, oh, you need someone to look at it. It's like, can you look at it for me? Make sure it's actually like there's no mistake. Done. I was like, love it. So actually like eliminating a lot of errors, add a lot of efficiency to it. So it's actually like also it's like, oh, I need a brainstorm partner. Can you help me? So it's like it's really good strategic decision making assistant too. So that's one side. But the other side, I also really cautious about like, okay, AI can make you looks like a genius, but AI like ChatGPT and Gen AI can make you an idiot. Because actually, like you completely rely on it every single time when someone asks you a question, you just go to AI. Without AI, now you're an idiot. So it's just like it can make you better. It can make you worse. It's just like this is a spoon. You can use a spoon for coffee. You can use a spoon for cocaine. It's just a tool. You can use it for better or worse. It's a really powerful tool. So I think it's like just great tool, but use it wisely.
No, definitely agree to that. And if you look at, right, recently Llama 3 released, right, a smart move by Meta, uh, in one way, and given uh, given whatever OpenAI releases, and then Meta has it in few months behind it, and they come up with literally open source software. Um, what is your opinion? What's gonna happen, like especially after recent OpenAI release of GPT-O, or like multimodal capabilities? So is Meta's all answer to that already in process, or something else is coming?
I think it's like literally it's like we can already call it like an arm race of AI. So it's like Amazon, Google, Meta is actually like all race to it. So actually like let's talk to the positive side. So it will be like more resources. So actually like everyone is like because actually everyone is looking at each other. So it's like, okay, are you sharing it? Are you doing it for the general good and all that? So I think it's good for like open source. Now the opening is actually like for general public to participate because actually like for their business purpose, it's like they need to gain business like market share. So it's actually like the more people who use it, actually like it will be better position they got. And also it's like a strategic move as you can like look at the stock market. Okay, now it's actually like Google announcing, oh, I'm having my Gen AI, the stock price go up. And the other who don't announce it go down. Because actually like every single investor is like, okay, I only want to put my money on AI. Are you doing it? You are not doing it, that's a problem. Oh, they are releasing new stuff, you are not releasing it, oh, that's a problem. So actually like, and you can see it. So we just got Google I/O yesterday,
I
right?
Yes. So you
Yeah.
were there?
In the past I watched that.
Oh, wow.
It's great. I am a registered Android developer and registered like Apple developer too. So I pay attention to both.
Oh, wow.
But you
Wow.
notice it's actually like in past 5 days, the stock price of Google go up 6% just because they talk about AI. So I think it's actually like matters like, well, we have to do it, but we have to do it smart. We cannot
Yeah.
just release the AI. We just say, well, we're doing it for everyone. We're doing it for the ethical way. We have to open source and all that. So I think it's actually like is strategic step for all this company just want to stay relevant and stay competitive to their competitors.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. I mean, I do have more questions, but then in the interest of time, and I know it's late for you as well, just kind of speeding it up. So my another question is, so finally reflecting on your journey so far, what's one piece of advice you wish you could give to your younger self, uh, when you were just starting out in your career in AI and data analytics?
I think it's actually like so. I think over my career is like, well, I do something right, do something wrong. But after so many years, actually, like I think two things are one thing is actually like always right. Meaning is actually like just keep learning. Learning always the best investment of your life. So your best friend is actually is like your skill and your knowledge. If you don't walk away from your training, no matter how tough the situation is, it does not walk away from you. So actually, like you can always count on them as long as actually like, you stay close with your learning and your training. And in this world like of AI, I think learning and training is the only way to keep yourself relevant. I mean, you can ask GPT, but actually, like without GPT, you will be like, "What am I doing? Where am I? Who am I?" So, right.
Okay, cool, cool. And what's your professional and personal goal for the next 3 to 5 years? Just quick, short, maybe, if that
Yeah,
works.
I would say it's like just keep incorporating AI into my work, which I am doing. I think it's actually like not just me, it's like everyone is kind of thinking it's like, well, how can I stay relevant in my career, in my job market, and all that. And maybe it's like when I have some good idea, good enough idea, I would try to start my own firm. That would be actually like my roadmap to for the 3 to 5 years to stay relevant with all the AIs going on and maybe start my own company.
Cool, cool. Okay, so a bonus question for the audience, from the audience side, and for the sake of the audience, um, what's the top 3 or 2 forums that you kind of spend time reading about latest developments?
I will say it's actually because actually like I usually it's actually like I know it's actually like it's tempting to just read it's like what is hot outside, and truly it's actually like it's important to actually like to read about it's actually like what are the hot topics, so it's like what are going on actually like on the AI front. So that's one side. So it's like stay relevant, what's new, what is going on with the world, what you need to keep up. I think it's actually like the second also most important is actually like just learn the AI topic actually like relate to your own profession. So actually like in my industry, it's actually like so just learning is like predictive analytics. So it's like how to actually like improve the forecast with AI, customer segmentation, and all that. But it's something that's actually like relate to yourself. Because actually like I think as human, we only learn well on something you can relate to. Otherwise, you will just forget about it. So actually, like what's new, and also it's like what's something that can really relate to you, and also it's like you can practice it. Um, in the best cases, like daily basis.
Okay, okay. Any specific forum that you might want to kind of point out for the audience?
Current news actually, like usually I just go to is like Wall Street Journal
Okay,
because like
okay.
they follow the money, and that's like for the AI and all that, and pretty much it's like just all others AI forum, Reddit, and all that. Actually, like you can gain a lot of like relevant opinion as like on the AI topic.
All right, all right, all right. Cool. All right, Simon. So here we are at the to the end of the conversation, and I'm sure the all the audience have enjoyed listening to this conversation between Simon and myself, and especially the all the interesting insight. Especially, I mean, I love this line of what Simon said, right? Skill and knowledge are your best friends. Okay, so thank you, Simon, for being on the podcast, and lovely chatting with you. Um,
Thank you so much. Thank you for
uh,
having me.